Welcome everyone to the Dr. Blue Duck podcast, and do we have some gaming news to talk about today? So if you're new to this podcast, it is a podcast aimed at gaming dads like you, gaming dads like me, and everyone else who wants to come and chill with us. So let's first talk about Marathon. So I played the preview of Marathon where it was free for a weekend, and I was kind of set on purchasing this game. I had money put aside just to buy Marathon, but after playing it a few times for free, I decided not to go ahead with that purchase. And here's the reason why. It's because of the interface. I mean, the interface is just so convoluted. It's so distracting. It's so confusing. There is so much going on there. It reminds me of Destiny 2. And of course, that makes sense because they're made by the same company. But Destiny 2 is one of those games that I love. But when I began playing Destiny, I called up my buddy who played Destiny all the time, and I said, hey, how does this actually work? Where do I start? What is what on the screen? And he said, you know what? I really don't know. It's confusing to me too. So a seasoned Destiny 2 player was confused about the interface. And as we see here with Marathon, there's a confusing interface as well. Now, of course, I could do the research. I could put the time into it, and I could figure out how it actually works. But for me, a gaming dad, and for probably gaming dads like you as well, we just don't have the time to do that. I want to hop into a game and I want to be intuitive and fun and adventurous and exciting and interesting. I don't want to have to spend all this time figuring out how I get the game started, what this little icon over here is, what this little symbol over here is. I just want it to feel natural and intuitive. And Marathon did not feel that way to me. Now, I'm sure there's going to be a big group of guys who are just sweaty, hardcore gamers, but that is not me. I don't have the time for that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys don't have the time for that as well. So let's move on to the Iran offensive, which is going on right now, which is kind of changing the way that I'm playing video games. So I used to be all into realistic shooters. I was just texting one of my buddies the other day, and he said the big problem with Fortnite for him is that it's not realistic enough. But for me, and maybe I'm just getting older, maybe it's just having two sons, but for me personally, I'm shying away from realistic shooters, and I actually like Fortnite because it is more cartoony. I actually like Marvel Rivals because it is more cartoony. I even still like Overwatch because it is kind of cartoony. I don't want hardcore, realistic bloodshed showing up on my television screen as my little 2-year-old and my little 5-year-old walk around and see that. I just want to preserve their purity, their sweet little minds, as long as I can realistically. And I think the whole Iran conflict, war, whatever you want to call it, has been heavy in the back of my mind. And it's just making me want to stay away from those more realistic games and play games like Mario Wonder, which I've been playing a lot lately. And I'm actually really excited for March 26th because we're getting the new updates for the Switch 2 and the little addition for more online play. And I've been thinking about it. Like for me, I know there's many different types of games out there, but for me, I can break down most of the games that I play into 3 categories. And that is adventure, puzzle, and competitive, kind of like esports. Adventure games for me would be games like Skyrim, the BioShock series, Destiny 2, games that like take you out of the regular day, mundane routine of life and put you into an adventure that you wouldn't be able to have on your own. Puzzle games that I sometimes play are games like Little Nightmares, the Room series, which is creepy as heck, and Luigi's Mansion. My 5-year-old son went through a Luigi's Mansion phase, and it was really me stepping in to help him solve all the puzzles. Now, the competitive games, the esports games, are games like Fortnite, Overwatch, Arc Raiders. Yeah, I know it's not an esport, but it kind of is like a competitive game in the same way. And of course, there are crossovers. There are puzzle elements and mini adventure games, and there are adventures in competitive games. I mean, it's not just set in stone. There's a lot of crossover that takes place. In front of my two little boys, mostly I've been playing puzzle games, games that have child-appropriate adventures. But in my private time, I'm more into the adventure games that can have some more violent elements in there as well. But when I'm playing with my friends, my life group bros, hey, you guys know who you are. We play every other Thursday from around 8 to 9. We play competitive games, and the game we've been playing most is Fortnite. So I'm kind of curious, as a gaming dad, what games do you play the most? Do you play kind of more of the adult-rated games, or do you just play more of the kid games because most of your life, like mine, is surrounded by kids? And speaking about kids games, there's an exciting announcement for the gaming dads out there, and that is Pokemon Winds and Waves is coming out, which will be the 10th generation of Pokemon games. But here's the problem. It's not coming out until 2027, and it looks amazing. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be definitely a Team Wind type of guy. I love flying. I love the sky. Now, I love the beach. I love the ocean as well, but just to be able to fly, to be up in the air, in the winds, I mean, that just sounds super awesome to me. And until then, I'll still be playing Pokemon ZA and the new Pokopia, which is coming out this week, and I'm super stoked to play that. I have it pre-ordered, ready to download to my Switch too. I think it's going to be the game that takes over Animal Crossing for me. My new cozy game, my new Minecraft game, all in one. That'll also give me my Pokemon fill. And shockingly, I'll probably be putting down my Steam Deck OLED for a little while I play my Switch 2 more and more to play those games. Plus, I have Mario Kart World characters that I still haven't unlocked yet. And speaking about racing, so I did something different, something that was kind of out of my norm. I took my family, my wife and my two little boys, to see a demolition derby. It was called the Night of Destruction. And this thing was wild. I mean, it began first with a regular pre-race of the real race cars. And I want to warn you, if you've never been to a race before, a NASCAR style race, it is loud. And it is not just kind of loud where it's uncomfortable. It is deafening loud. So make sure you have the full cuffed earphones for your kids. And I just brought regular earplugs for myself and my wife, but honestly, I kind of wish I had the full ear cuffs as well, because it was so loud when you sat down and those cars came around, you felt it vibrate in your hearts. It was that type of loud. So after the race was over, they had the demolition take place where they did some crazy things. I mean, one crazy thing they did was they had boats. Yeah, actually boats hooked up to these old beat up cars, and they would drive around and knock the boats into pieces until there was only a few left. And then they made an announcement that a motorcyclist was going to ride his motorcycle through 6 walls of fire with his wife on the back. So I looked at my wife and I'm like, hey, what does that mean? And she's like, I don't know. What does that mean? Walls of fire with his wife on the back. And folks, I want to tell you, it means literally what they said it was. There was seriously a man, an older man, who got on his motorcycle and rode through 6 wooden walls that were on fire, and he had his wife on the back of his motorcycle. What was kind of shocking is that his previous run doing this maneuver sent him into the hospital for a few weeks. So it was kind of shocking to see him do this, and he did it successfully. And what was kind of cool, he got up there on the stage after pulling off this stunt, and he said first he wanted to give thanks to his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So it's kind of cool. I'm going to be hanging out with that guy in heaven for a while, that crazy guy who rides through walls of fire on his motorcycle with his wife behind him. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, there's a lot of anxiety in life. I know this year we experienced some family deaths. I mean, life is not easy. Sometimes it is stressful, and it's sometimes hard just to de-stress from a busy day of work or a busy work week and then go home and just relax with your family. So before I went to bring my family to this demolition derby, I was praying and asking God to help me just relax and calm down and just not have so much anxiety. And God answered that prayer, because while watching all of these races and stunts take place, I sat back, I had my wife right here, I had our little boy in between us, and I had my big 5-year-old boy right here, and I just held them while watching these stunts and races take place. and I was just able to calm down and relax a little bit. We were a little ways out of town. There was an amazing sunset behind us, and then the stars came out. There was a full moon, and at the very end there was even fireworks. And there was something so nice about just being completely at peace, literally holding my family and watching these stunts take place. And it is a challenge to deconnect from all the stressors that we have in life. And I was able to do that night. So I want to encourage you guys to try to do that as well. I know it's difficult. It's really difficult for me. I think what really made it possible wasn't the demolition derby. It wasn't driving a little ways out of town, but it was actually the prayer that began the night. Now, going back to the type of games that I like to play, the puzzle games, the adventure games, and the competitive games, life throws out a lot of puzzles that we have to solve, and it throws out a lot of competitions that we have to partake in. But for the adventures in life, we can do those with our family. We can take our family with us on our adventures. And I got to do this in a way going to the demolition derby. And there's so many other things that we can do in life that are mini adventures. They are experiences that we can bring our families along with us, making those memories, because guess what? The days are short. So anyways, if you are a gaming dad like me, I want to encourage you to help grow this gaming dad community. And as always, be kind, use your minds, and game on.